Wonderful. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining here today for our session. My name is Adam Rook. I'm one of the co-op coordinators that works here at Laurier's co-op office. And today we're going to be walking through all of the science program options that are available for co-op. And I'm also joined by one of our students, Naftal, who's going to have the chance to speak in a little bit here to share their experience. So we'll jump right into it. So you first may be wondering, what is co-op and how do I apply? Well, co-op is what we call a hands-on practical work experience where you're able to take what you learn in the classroom, move that to the work term and apply that in the workforce, and then take what you learn in the workforce and bring that back and apply it in the classroom. And this is very much an experiential learning process that students go through. And it's a really great way just to develop that practical work experience. Co-op is an optional program, so all of the programs we're going to go over today you do need to apply for. It is not automatically included in your program, and you do need to be enrolled in an honors science program to be eligible. And all of our programs except one are a competitive application process that will involve going through an admissions interview, and I'll be sure to go over those details for you as we get to those programs. So you might be wondering, first off, what are the benefits of participating in the co-op program? And one of the main things that we share for students is this is a great way to help you clarify your career path. And being able to go through a co-op program, you have the chance to work sometimes at multiple locations in different types of jobs, and you're going to learn the things that you like, and you're also going to learn the things that you don't like. That can really help clarify what you want to be doing long-term after you graduate and really set you on that right path as you learn about different fields that are out there. Another big benefit that we have is our fundamentals course. So all students that are admitted into the co-op program go through a fundamentals course that's run by one of our coordinators, Ian, who is a wonderful educator. And he takes you through a series of workshops on resume writing, cover letter building, interview preparation, as well as job search skills. And this is a great way to make sure that you are feeling comfortable, confident, and ready to start applying for those jobs for your work term. So we are going to help you through that entire process to make sure your documents are in order and to make sure that you've even had the chance to do some practice and mock interviews. Beyond that, there's going to be some one-on-one assistance with a coordinator, such as myself. So there are a team of co-op coordinators, and we provide support to students based on their programs. And that's more of the additional one-on-one that's on top of the fundamentals. So you're going to go through the fundamentals course, you're going to get help with your resume, and then as you make those edits and you're submitting it back, we can then have further conversations to fine-tune and to make tweaks and changes, especially after future work terms and you gain more experience. Work coordinators are there to be able to help you continue to develop your content and make sure, again, you're ready to go. And the other big one is access to job postings. So you're going to have access to our system called Navigator, where employers are posting specifically for co-op students, where you're going to be able to apply alongside your own personal job search. So a lot of benefits that you hear from me, but I do want you to be able to hear from one of our students. So as I mentioned, Naftal is currently a data science student, and they've just secured for their second work term this coming summer. So very excited for them. They've been a great representative of our program. And I'm going to pass the mic over to Naftal here to share a little bit about their experience.
Hey guys, first of all, Adam, thanks a lot for having me. Adam and I'm part of the Co-op program, and Adam has been one of my key points of contact to the Co-op office. He's my Co-op advisor. It's been really an honor to get to work with Adam. So just kind of echo some of the things Adam has said, my name is Naftal Tedikarecha. In my third year of the data science program at Laurier. I'm also part of the data science Co-op program. Like Adam said, I'm going to be heading into my second work term. In the spring, I just secured my employment with a company called Motor Insight. I'll be working as a data and automation analyst. In my first work term, I worked as a junior data analyst for the city of Guelph. So just because you have the time constraint, I'll just kind of move into what I think has been the major benefit of being part of the Co-op program, So for me, I think I've really enjoyed and appreciated being part of it. I'll break it down. I think I break it down into two major points. So the first one will be the opportunities that it's offered me. So some of the opportunities I think, the opportunities and advantages you get from being part of Laurier's Co-op program is one, various companies have specific listings meant for students. So those wouldn't be accessible through other job areas. So for example, you won't get them on LinkedIn, you won't get them on Indeed, so they're not up, so you can't apply them through those portals. So it really narrows down the pool and allows you to increases your chances of getting those jobs. So then you also have companies which have a preference for co-op students. So being part of the co-op program really gives you a leg up against the competition. Then I think another thing that you benefit from being part of the co-op program is that you get 3 work terms. So since you get 3 work terms, you really get a chance to dip your feet in the water and see what you like and what you don't like. If you really like the company you were working at previously, then for your next time you can choose to, let's say, go to the company. Or if you want to explore more and see if there's something new that you want to go into, you can try that as well. So it gives you an opportunity to kind of move. It gives you an opportunity to move around and just kind of test various areas that you can apply yourself to. Then again, during your work time, you also get a chance to create those connections. You have your supervisors, you have your co-workers that you work with. Various companies have mixers. I know this is the COVID period, but normally you'd have like companies where you have mixers where you get to interact with various other departments. So it gives you a chance to network and increase the people out there, which might be beneficial in the long term. Then you also during this one, you're part of the organization, so you will be working on real world problems and you'll be focusing on things which are actually valuable to the company. So you are gaining skills and you are becoming a better individual and a better candidate for future co-op positions. So it's kind of like a stepwise process, and after each different co-op term that you undergo, you're also, after each co-op term you're studying, then another co-op term, so you're basically becoming a better and better candidate as you progress through your co-op semesters. Then I think the last thing I capture here is the fact that this acts as a mock of what it would actually be like once you graduate to apply for jobs. So once you get to the point where you graduate and you're now looking for full-time positions, it's not going to be an entirely new process. You're going to have some sense of clarity of what you actually want to do because you've already had previous co-op terms, and you're also going to know what you specifically do in terms of editing and formatting your CV, what some of the keywords that you want to capture. It's going to kind of set you really well during that application process for your full-time positions. Then I think the second thing that Co-op, being part of the Co-op program at Laurier offers is the support that you get from the Co-op office. This is one of the things which is going to be really important. I'll be honest with you, finding jobs is very hard. It's not easy. Sending in an application is easy. Getting the managers to actually pick out your application and view you as a valuable candidate and someone who they'd want as part of their team is an entirely different case. So to do this, you need to be able to know how to actually write your CV really well. You need to know how to edit your resume to fit the particular jobs, and the fundamentals course is really essential for this. And you'll have Ian. Adam has talked about Ian. Ian is a really great guy, really great mentor to have. He's going to walk you through the best practices when it comes to your resume, editing your CV for the various roles. So these are going to be really essential points of contact. These are going to be essential points of contact for you, and these are going to be things which you're going to continuously carry on with you, even after you leave the university, even after you're working in the long run. So all of those are going to be really key things that you're going to do. Also, as part of the fundamentals course, you're going to do mock interviews. So these mock interviews will kind of be there to prep you and help point out some of the weak areas that you have while interviewing. And you'll have guys like Adam who'll give you kind of like the proper guideline on how to answer those questions. So it's going to be it's something that's going to be a bit strenuous, but it's also going to help better you and make you a better candidate when it comes to the actual interviews that you'll be doing if you do get accepted into the core program. Then I think the last thing is the fact that guys like Adam will be there and other co-op advisors will be there to give you kind of that moral support. When you send in those applications, especially in your first co-op term, most people don't have that much experience, so it does take a while for you to actually get those interviews. But you need to have that moral support, and guys who provide you, just remind you to stay positive and keep on applying, and eventually things do end up working out for most people. So I think as an individual, I've really enjoyed being part of Laurier's core program. I think it's really set me up very well. During my first work time, I did struggle to get a job, and after getting that experience under my belt in my second work time, I got a job. I got a job within the first few weeks of the postings being there. So it's kind of a testament of what I was telling you about you becoming a better and better candidate as you go through. And I'll be honest, I feel very confident about being able to secure a job once I graduate. So for all of you out there who are thinking about joining Laurier and joining the core program at Laurier specifically, I highly encourage it. And, and I think you'll get to see the same benefits that I've seen from being part of the core program. So that's all I have to say about that. Back to you, and back to you, Adam.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Naftal. I appreciate you sharing your perspective there. And again, I think I'm just going to get you to do all my sessions moving forward. That was wonderful. So thank you for sharing your perspective, being a student in the program. And now what we'll do, folks, is we're going to dive a little bit more into the gritty details of all of the co-op programs that are available within our sciences. And then at the end, I'll be able to share just a few links and information for you to kind of wrap things up. So first and foremost, as I mentioned, it is a competitive entry process for co-op. So I'm going to go through our range of programs that we have available for students to apply to, the eligibility requirements to be to receive an admissions interview, which in that admissions interview, we're going to look at 4 things. We're going to be reviewing your volunteer and extracurricular activity, your previous work experience, your GPA, as well as your admissions interview performance. So those are the 4 criteria that we look at to admit students into the program. I will note that PEP, our professional experience program, does not have admissions interviews, and I'll be able to talk a little bit more about that program here shortly. So first I'll talk about our honors science program. So this would be for students in programs such as environmental studies, kinesiology, health studies, biology, chemistry. Some of our financial math students might be within some of these programs here. So this is for students in, I'll say, like kind of the general program, but again, you do have to be in the honors program for this. Students that are in any of these co-op programs do 2 work terms, and those work terms take place during the summer months of your 2nd and your 3rd year. Both for 4 months. So a big benefit to this program is that it doesn't extend your time at Laurier at all. So you maintain your sequence, you're able to graduate the same time you will with your classmates, and you're also able to stay involved on campus. So if you're a part of any clubs or associations, your work terms won't interrupt any involvement during the main academic year that you'd be going through. So students in this program, you're going to be applying at the beginning of your 2nd year, just like all of our programs. And then admissions interviews are going to happen during that fall semester of your 2nd year as well. In order to be eligible for one of the science co-op programs, you need to have an overall 7.0 GPA or a 7.0 in your specific honors discipline and a 6.5 overall. You also need to have completed 5 credits and no more than 7.5 credits by the end of August. That's just important in terms of the sequencing moving forward. If you meet those requirements, you'll be granted an admissions interview, and then decisions are made after the interview. Another program that we have is our applied water science program. So a bit more of a niche program that's available to students here. And you'll see that their sequence looks a little bit different. So students, again, apply at the beginning of their 2nd year, so the fall term. But the difference is that they're going to actually go on 2 work terms for 8 months each. So a little bit different from our other sciences. So you still do 2 work terms, but they're a total of 8 months each for a grand total of 16 months of work. So that can be done at 2 different locations, or if you did well at the first one, you might be able to return for your 2nd work term as well. This does extend your time in the program if you're an applied water science student, so you will be here for the 5 years in order to meet those requirements to graduate. For applied water science, in order to be eligible, you need to have a minimum GPA of 7.0 in your 1st year. Same requirement in terms of having 5 credits and no more than 7.5 to be for an admissions interview. But the difference here is that your admissions interview will take place during the fall semester of your 2nd year, but we won't make decisions on your admission to the program until the beginning of your winter term of your 2nd year, because we do review your fall semester grades, and you need to be maintaining that 7.0 after your 2A term in order to be eligible for an admissions offer. So that is one slight difference for the applied water science program there. Next, we'll go over computer science and data science. So this is the program that Naftal is in for the data science program. Here's the sequencing that you'll see for these students. Again, you apply at the beginning of your 2nd year, so that 2A term, but you'll actually go on 3 4-month work terms throughout your time in the program. It does extend your time at Laurier that little bit longer. So you are done in 4 years, but you will be required to do an academic term in the summer of your 4th year. But again, the value here is you're going to be going through for 3 different 4-month work terms that you're going to be alternating through in your 3rd and 4th year, as you can see here. So Nafdal is currently in his 3B term, going out for his winter or summer work term this coming May. To be eligible for the computer science or data science program, again, you're going to be applying at the beginning of your 2nd year, same as everything else, and you need to have at least a 7.0 at the end of your 1st year in order to be eligible for an admissions interview. You need to have 5 credits and no more than 7.5 to be eligible. You're seeing a bit of a trend here in terms of our requirements, and then interviews will take place during that fall semester. But similar to the water science program, you aren't going to find out the results until the winter term, so your 2B, because we do look at your fall grades as part of the admissions process. So you need to be maintaining that 7.0 through your 2A term in order to be offered an admissions offer to the program. So again, 7.0 for an admissions interview, and then you need to be maintaining that in terms of an admissions offer. So all of those requirements are there for you to take a look at. The last program I'm going to talk about here is our professional experience program. And this one is going to be a little bit different, a little more unique than I've been mentioning already. Our professional experience program is for computer science students only. And these students actually apply at the beginning of their 3rd year. So this is where we see a difference. So let's say you're a computer science student and you weren't able to get into the co-op program in your 2nd year. This is something that you can apply for by the beginning of your 3rd year. And the other difference is the work term that you go out on. So our PEP students go out for 1 work term for a total of 12 to 16 months. So you're not splitting that up between different work terms. It's 1 full term, 12 to 16 months at 1 employer location. So you're getting a longer term commitment and opportunity there. And you do have to return to academic terms. So it will extend your time in the program by a full year. So again, that's just something to keep in mind moving forward. In order to be eligible for PEP, you need to be applying, as I mentioned, at the beginning of your 3rd year, and you need to have at least a 7.0 GPA overall by the end of the 2nd year, or a 7.0 in your honors and a 6.5 overall. Pardon me. So you also need to have completed 10 credits in order to apply, and no more than 14 credits. So this is, again, a little bit different. Just make sure you're noting those requirements. This is a few years down the road for anybody deciding to come to Laurier, but just something to keep in mind, because you do need to be able to return for at least one full term of an academic semester after your work term. And as I mentioned before, PEP does not have an admissions interview. So as long as you meet the GPA and the course credit requirement, you'll be admitted into the program for your 3rd year. So the big thing to remind all students, though, is September is the admissions deadline for all years. We won't have a specific date for any of you watching right now because that's going to be another few years out here. But just keep in mind, knowing that you're always going to need to apply at least by the fall, early September of your 2nd or possibly 3rd year if you're going for PEP. I do want to take a little bit of time to talk about the realities of co-op. There's, again, lots of positives, lots of great opportunities, but just noting that there are also challenges that come with being in the program. I'm going to jump ahead to one of the lower bullet points there, the time and effort. As Nafdal mentioned, it takes a lot of time and energy. It takes a lot of effort to get those applications out there, updating your resume, updating your cover letters, getting those applications out there on top of doing your schoolwork. So it is hard, it is a lot of work. But we do our best to make sure that you feel confident and comfortable to be able to get those applications out there. In terms of kind of the realities of employment rate, we do work towards 100% every term, but that we may not hit that, but we do see mid to high 90% each semester for students getting employed. So co-op isn't a guaranteed job, but we do work extremely hard for you to be able to get you the best chance of securing that employment. And part of that, though, is that some work terms may have to be relocated for. So if you're looking at a very small area in terms of location of where you can work, you are going to be limited in the jobs that are available. So keeping in mind and maybe an open mind to the opportunity to relocate for a job. So maybe go to Toronto, maybe out of the province if you're open to that, can really expand your opportunities for finding work. The job search does take a lot of energy. You are going to be doing both a navigator posting searches as well as your own personal search. So using personal connections, using LinkedIn, other job boards, because we don't get every single job that's out there, but we do get a fair bit. And also types of roles are something that should be thought of as well. Specifically want to be upfront, for maybe some of our science students in, let's say, Kin or Health Sci, you may be wanting to work hands-on in a clinic. And for some businesses, that isn't an opportunity for them to have that available. So thinking about what type of work can you get into that's going to continue to develop your skill set to be able to give you the best foot out the door when you graduate, to be able to find that full-time work. As Naftal said, it's that progression throughout the entire program of continuing to build on your experiences and your skill set. And there is also fees associated with the program. So I will share that here. I'll just leave that up on the screen so you can take a look at it. You will notice that there is a difference in fee between the honor science programs and our more unique programs that I mentioned there. The difference for that is being our honor science students will typically have a little bit of a lower wage, as well as possible shorter work terms, and you're often doing more of a personal search for those programs. So that is why there's a difference in fee there. You can find all other information about fees on our website, and I've kept that link below, so feel free to kind of copy that over into your browser so you can take a look at our website there to find more information about the different fees. For these next few slides here, we're going to go over some salary information. On average overall, on a weekly basis, you're going to be seeing around $660, maybe around $700 per week for students. This will depend on your experience, depend on the field that you're in. So there are a lot of factors for that. But just so you can kind of maybe budget out and plan, this would be the overall kind of averages that you see there. In terms of employment sectors, a lot of students working within the private sector, followed by nonprofit or academic. So maybe working at Laurier as an option. So just knowing that that's where most students end up. And then in terms of location, our two biggest areas are the KW Cambridge Guelph, as well as the GTA. So as I mentioned before, if you are looking to expand outwards and maybe you want to work out of the province or you have a very niche location, just sharing that the reality is a lot of our students get employed in these main areas here. I do want to touch on, the value of volunteering here. I know some students may be wondering, well, geez, Adam, I don't have a lot of work experience. That's not going to be a huge limiting factor. It's about continuing to maybe try and find work. I know right now is a very difficult time, keeping things positive. Hopefully the things are going to be more open and moving forward can increase the chance for you to find work, but also volunteering and getting involved in your community. If you do decide to come to Laurier, getting involved in the local volunteer sector and using those local resources just to increase your experience, develop those skill sets, get involved in the area. That can go a long way if you feel challenged by finding work. Try and increase that volunteer opportunity while you're trying to search for jobs as well. So I'm going to just leave some previous co-op roles here so you have an idea of where students have worked, types of roles that they've had. So I'll leave that up there for a second. And I'll also share some continued roles here. So again, please feel free to pause, take a look at those. I don't want to go on too long for folks today, because again, I appreciate and recognize that digital content can be a lot to ingest as you're trying to decide on when to come to Laurier. And I'll be honest, I definitely miss having students on campus for these and seeing you at our open houses. So hopefully this information is still able to get across for you. If you have any questions, our website is a great place to check out. All of the information is available there, but I've also included my email down below. If you have some specific questions that you want to go over, please feel free, shoot me an email. I'd be happy to chat with you and provide you that support, but don't forget to check out the website. So thank you very much for coming. Big thank you for Naftal for joining me for the entire session today. We're recording this on reading week right now, so he's taking one of his reading week days to hang out with us. So hopefully folks are excited about the opportunity to come to Laurier. I'm a big pusher of it. I love the programs that we have here, love the university. So if you have any other questions, let us know. And again, thank you very much.